All right, I want to thank everyone for joining us today. My name is Boris Herzl. I am the program manager for the Guam APEX Accelerator. This slide tells you a little bit about what we do. We provide one-on-one counseling services as well as group workshops and webinars for anybody going after a government contract. So local Gov Guam contract or a federal contract, we are here to assist you. We are funded by a grant from the Department of War, and the University of Guam hosts our program. So our offices are located at the University of Guam inside the School of Business and Public Administration. I'm in room 117, and Victoria, our procurement counselor, is in room 116. Some of the highlights of our program, we have over 700 active clients. In FY25, those clients won over $600 million in contracts and subcontracts, and we've helped a bunch of clients get HubZone certified, which is a popular certification to get in Guam, being that the entire island is a hub zone. So we are a member of the National Apex Accelerator Alliance, or NAPEX. So we are just one Apex Accelerator amongst 90 plus offices across the nation. So wherever you are, there should be an Apex Accelerator somewhere nearby. But we have our alliance we can go to, find out the latest and greatest with government contracting, and then share that information with our clients. We usually share that on our Facebook, LinkedIn pages, and through emails. I'll talk a little bit about that more as we go along here. We're also partners with the SBDC, the Small Business Development Center. That is an SBA funded program. They are a business development assistance program. So if you are starting a business or expanding your business, need some QuickBooks training, need to put a business plan together to take to a bank, so you can get a loan or a line of credit, go see the folks over at your local SBDC. They got, I believe, like 800 plus offices across the nation. And they can help you with all those things. We do not assist with business development. We strictly focus on government contracting. And then we also work with the SBA, the Hub Zone program, as well as the Women-Owned certification, the 8A certification, the Service-Able Veteran certification, and the Small Business Mentor Protege program. We can help you with all those programs. Those are all SBA funded programs. So if you want to get involved in those, we can assist you with those. Going back to the types of assistance we provide, starts from the very beginning. We'll sit down with you, figure out the products and services you're selling. We'll figure out which government agencies are buying those products and services. Normally in Guam, it'll be the Department of War or the Department of Defense, just because 99.9% of all the contracts out here come from them. And then we'll get you registered in SAM. SAM is the System for Award Management. If you want to be a federal contractor, you need to be registered in that system. Once you get all registered in there, we can help you find opportunities. That's also in SAM. And then once you find an opportunity you're interested in, we can help you review that solicitation, just to make sure that you are able to do it. And then we can help you review your proposal or your quote in response to that solicitation. We can't write something for you and we can't price it for you, but we can give you tips and suggestions on what to include, what not to include. And so, and then win or lose, we can help you with the debrief process. So you are entitled to a debrief, but you do need to ask for it. So we can show you how that works. So start to finish, basically, of the government procurement process, we are here to assist. All of our services are free of charge. It's all paid for with your tax dollars already. So please take advantage of us. Um, okay. We'll continue on here. Oh, sorry. Let's get to the next slide here. This is our contact information. So there's our phone numbers and our email addresses. And our website is the main place to hook up with us, basically. Go to guamapex.com. If you know any other companies that are interested in working with the federal government or even the local Guam government, please just direct them to our website. There's a little sign up as a client button on that website, and that'll put them in our database. Like I said, it's all free of charge, so there's no fees for any of this. But once you're in our database, you'll be getting our weekly email where we talk about companies that were awarded things. Awarded contracts or got small business certifications. And we also talk about events and webinars that are coming up from different agencies, as well as any news related to government contracting. And that happens pretty much every Friday. We send out that mail to our clients, all our active clients. If you're not getting that email, that weekly email, just shoot us an email or give us a call and we can find out what's going on there. We also have a Facebook and LinkedIn page, so if you want to follow those, like those, that'd be great. That's also where we share news with what's going on in government contracting. And then we have our YouTube channel where all our webinars are posted after they are recorded. And so if you missed a webinar, no problem. Just go to YouTube and type in Guam Apex, and you can watch our webinar there again for free, no charge for anything. And our webinars are always updated. So when we do a repeat of a webinar, we delete the old webinar. So I know that kind of some people like to bookmark links in YouTube. Unfortunately for our channel, you'll have to keep updating those because those webinars will disappear after a while as it's replaced with a new webinar. So, okay. So let's continue on here. Like I said, this is being recorded and everyone's going to get a copy of this presentation as well as a link to the recording. And if you have any questions, please feel free to type them in the chat as we go along here. There's a little chat button on the bottom of the screen for you. Or you can wait till the end. We'll have plenty of time for questions. And this webinar probably won't even take an hour today. We're going to be talking about the small business profile and the small business search. So that's another thing we assist with is marketing, basically. How do you market yourself to the government? And so that's really what we're going to talk about today, marketing or advertising. So, SBA Profile is a marketing tool. Federal contracting, government contracting is very competitive, and you need to have some marketing material so that you can inform contracting officials, contracting specialists, contracting officers, large primes that you might want to work with, or even other small businesses as teaming partners, or even sub and prime contract relationships. You need some marketing material to let them know who you are and what you do. So, that's an SBA profile can help with that. It's a snapshot of your business. It's a mini capability statement. We did a whole webinar on capability statement. I don't know if it was last week or a couple weeks ago, but if you missed that webinar, go to our YouTube channel. You can watch that. But basically, a capability statement is a business card for your business. It's a 1-page, 2-page max document that tells people about your business and what your business does. It highlights your strengths of your business, your known as core competencies, and then differentiators, things that make your business stand out amongst other businesses in your industry. And then any past performance. So if you've gotten any great grades on finished contracts, some nice testimonials, you put all that stuff on your capability statement. And so some of that can flow over into your SBA profile. We're going to go through it and show you exactly how it works here soon. So it's required for companies. So if you're going to apply, so you get registered in SAM and now you want to apply for a small business certification like HubZone, Woman-Owned, 8A, or Service Disabled Veteran, you're going to need an SBA profile. It's going to be required. So, and then it's all stored in a database known as the Small Business Search. And this will all make a lot of sense when we get to the Small Business Search and basically play around with it and show different things you can do with it. But let's start with our SBA profile here. So there is a website where you do this, and it's the Small Business Search site, or the SBS. So there's the link on the top of the screen here, search.certifications.sba.gov. And you need to sign in. So basically, you need to create an account here. So you click that sign in button, and you're going to do this login process where you create an account. And it's basically the same as when you apply for small business certifications. So I do have to make a little note here. If you've seen our other webinars related to the small business certifications like HubZone, 8A, Woman-Owned, or Service Disabled Veteran, I believe those webinars were made before they kind of changed the process. They added a new requirement to the login process or the creation of your account process where they're doing identity verification now. And that's becoming kind of a problem for some people. We're getting some of our clients are having issues with that aspect of creating the account where you need to upload like a copy of your real ID or something like that to prove who you are. And sometimes the site is not accepting the document, even though you do it correctly. And so a lot of people are having to use the help desk from the SBA to fix that issue. So if you run into that issue, just know it is an ongoing problem. The SBA knows about it. They're basically just kind of directing everyone to call them or email them, and the email address and the phone number are all on this on the website. So, but that is an issue. So unfortunately, we don't have that process in our webinar because when we did our logins, you didn't have to do that. So just want to let people know about that. So once you do create your account, though, you will need to claim your business, meaning the SBA website here kind of works with SAM. And so you'll tell it, okay, what's your UEI? And when you create a SAM registration, you need to have a UEI. So basically, you need to be registered to SAM before you can create an SBA profile. What's your cage code? That also comes from SAM. And then your EIN or your tax identification number, which comes from the IRS. If you're a sole proprietor, you might be using your SS number, so whatever that is. So once you put in those three pieces of information, it's going to go look to SAM to see if something there matches, and it'll pull it over and go, "Hey, is this your business?" And you're going to say yes, because usually it's only going to be one choice, and then on you go, and now you're connected to that business in the SBA section here. So, all right. So once you're connected, you're going to get to it's going to automatically direct you to your main screen here where you're going to see an SBA profile page. On the left is a main menu, basically, your table of contents kind of thing. But basically, it's the different sections of the profile that you're going to complete. So there's this participation section, overview information, organization and ownership, certification, NAICS code, service information, export information, and performance history. And how to go through it is basically you're just going to scroll down and start answering their questions. So we have screenshots of all this. So instead of going live and looking at it, we're just going to go through all the screenshots right now. So the first thing here is it's gonna have some public information that it pulled from SAM. It's gonna have your phone number, your email address, your home address, a fax number if you have that. I just can't believe they're still using it, but it's still there on a lot of government websites. But if you don't want that information to be shown on your SBA profile, you can hide it. So you can say show that or hide it. Those are your options for those pieces of information. Now, again, this is marketing. So I'm not sure why you'd want to hide things. Um, but if you're a business that wants to team up with other businesses, if you're a business that's looking for government contracts or want to be a subcontractor to prime contractors, you probably want not to hide this and just have everything shown here. So, but that's all. They give you the choice. It's up to you. So you can hide it or show it. So click the save changes, and then you can scroll back up to that main menu I showed you earlier. Or there's also a little button that says, I think it says back to top or back to the top or up to the top, something like that, where so you don't have to scroll, you just click it and it takes you right back. Why they don't have just like a continue button to move on to the next screen, I don't know. You always have to go back up to the top and then pick the next section in the main menu. Not sure why they designed it that way, but that's the way it is. Okay, so go back to your main menu. That was the participation we finished. So now we're going to click Overview Information. And then it's going to open up these little boxes here. And so you can, there's like little capabilities narrative. So this ties in with our capabilities webinar, capability statement webinar we did a little ways back. But basically, you can't put in your entire capability statement here, obviously, because you only get 1,000 characters. But you can put a little narrative about what your company does, maybe what your company's good at, maybe highlight some core competencies of your company. And so you can type that all in there. I highly recommend filling this box out. You can skip it. You can leave it blank if you want. But I can tell you when we go to and show you how the small business search works, when you're doing a search for companies and you pull up, it pulls up a random list of maybe 20 companies that fit the parameters of whatever you were searching for. And it'll show you the capabilities narrative right on the first screen. And human nature, if you're looking at a list of 10, 20 companies and some of them left their capabilities blank, you're probably not going to click on them. You want companies that you want to read their capabilities to see if you're interested in learning more about that company or not. So you can also actually upload your entire capability statement. Or if you have it on your website somewhere, you can create a link so it links it straight to your website and directs, it might be better to actually have the website link because then you can have people click that link it'll open a new tab and it goes straight to your website where they can see more information about your business. Remember, the whole point of this is marketing. It's about advertising your business and what you can do. And this is free. It doesn't cost anything to do this. Um, so I would suggest actually, if you have a website, do the link option, because if you just do upload an actual capability statement, it's just going to open that document and then it doesn't really direct them anywhere. But if you link it to your website, then go there and see more about your company. So, all right. So once you do all that, you can scroll down a little bit. And if you have a website again, you can actually add the link to your website, the actual website link, not the capability statement part, but maybe the home page. Um, and that's it. Now you scroll back up to the main menu or you click that back up to the top button. And now you go to the next section, which is organization and ownership. And here's where you can enter the company owners. And that's about it. That's all you can do. So done with that. And then we're going to scroll up to the main menu and click certifications. So if you are HubZone certified or woman-owned certified or 8A certified or Surf veteran-owned certified, those certifications will be listed there and you'll see them. If they're not listed there, and you know you have one of those, you might want to then reach out to the help email address or the help phone number that's on this website and find out what's going on. Why is it not linking up with SAM and showing you your certifications? So. Oops, I'm sorry. I clicked the wrong thing here. Let's go back up one, right? But you can also enter any non-federal certification. So if you're a CPA, you're a registered nurse, if you have some kind of, I don't know, OSHA training, they have some examples there, licensed electrician. If you're an RME, a responsible management employee, which is popular on Guam, in the construction industry, all those kind of things, you can add those in there. Again, it's all about marketing, right? You're trying to tell the government, potential buying offices, potential teaming partners, potential subcontractors, potential primes, who you are and what you do. So. All right. So once you do all that, now we go to click NAICS codes and it'll show you the NAICS codes that are listed in SAM. So you really can't do anything else. You can't really add anything to the screen. If you want to add more NAICS codes, and NAICS codes, if you remember from our SAM webinar, are the North American Industry Classification System codes. They're codes that are used by the government for two purposes, basically. One is to classify what industries your company is in, or what industries your company is in. So, for example, in this listing here that you see on the screen, you see 541618. That means this company does some management consulting services. 236220, that's tied to construction. And 811191 is oil change and lubrication shop. So basically, auto mechanic type services. Um, so that's what they're used for the government to divide up their contracts. Basically, every contract the government issues has a NAICS code on it. So that's how they basically classify and categorize all the work that they're contracting out. The other thing is used as a small business determination, basically. So every one of those three NAICS codes there has a limit on it, a threshold. So let's use the second one, 236220. The threshold on that is 45 million. So what that means is if your business is doing less than 45 million in annual revenue averaged over 5 years, but basically in general, less than 45 million in annual revenue, then it is a small business. Once it exceeds the 45 million average, then it is no longer a small business and it would be a large business for that NAICS code. So it's quite possible to be a large business in one NAICS code and a small business in another NAICS code. But that's what it's also used to classify if you're a large or small business in a certain industry. So that's the two purposes of the NAICS codes. A little side tangent there, but that's what this is showing you on the screen. If you're thinking, oh man, I should put more NAICS codes or those are the wrong NAICS codes, you then have to go log into your SAM and change that. You cannot change it here. So, all right. So let's scroll up back to the main menu. Now we're going to click service information. And here is kind of a way if people are using that small business search and they want to find your company, what kind of terms would they enter here? What kind of keywords would they enter if they wanted to search you up? So basically, it tells you right there, type comma separated keywords. So let's say you were a construction company on Guam, you'd probably at least want to put construction, comma, space, Guam, comma, space, maybe your company name, but word by word with a comma space. And then maybe things you specialize in. Maybe if you're electrical, you put electrical in there or electric. So if it's electric, it's going to cover electrical because, right, electric is part of the word electrical. So basically just keywords like if maybe if someone was doing a Google search for you, what kind of words would they enter to try to find your company? So that's the kind of the basic purpose here. So enter your keywords and it's for search purposes. And you can also on the next box list any special equipment or materials you have. Um, a lot, basically capabilities here, but these are the special capabilities, things that make you stand out from your competitors. So maybe you have some kind of a piece of equipment, like I don't know, some kind of the largest dump truck on the island, or the largest backhoe on the island, or you have some specialized piece of equipment that nobody else has, or maybe you have the largest workforce. Whatever it is, any special equipment, any materials, anything basically to make you stand out a little bit. So put that in there. Scroll down. You can enter your bonding levels. This is very popular for construction and service industry. Many contracts require some kind of bonding, especially on the federal side for sure. Gov Guam, if you're also selling to Gov Guam, you are going to need some bonding as well. So put in your bonding levels, and they basically divide it into construction bonding and service bonding, individual and aggregate. So basically, if you're not familiar with bonding, bonding is basically kind of insurance that you get from a bonding company that basically tells the government, hey, if this company fails to perform on this job, if they fail to complete the job, or if they just pack up and leave and don't even start the job, we, the bonding company, will find another company to do it. And of course, that's a bad thing. You don't want that to happen. But the bonding company is basically taking the risk and kind of ensuring that you're going to complete the project. So a lot of construction companies have bonding levels. So these are like the maximum amounts of contracts they can get. For example, if you are a construction company, let's say you're a small business construction company, you're doing maybe $20 million a year in annual revenue, you'll probably have at least a 20 to $30 million bonding limit. That'll be your bonding level. And that would be your aggregate, meaning for all your projects, right? And then you might have a specific, well, I've got a 20 million limit in total, but if I was doing one specific project, the biggest I could do is a 5 million. That might be your individual limit. So that's basically how they do it here. If you don't have any bonding, just leave it blank. But again, this is marketing purposes. It's nice to know when you're looking through the small business search and you're pulling up companies to see how much work they can handle. And the bonding levels kind of tell you that. They tell you how much work a company can handle. And there's also quality assurance standards. So this is more for manufacturing and things like that. So if you have any of those, you can check those off. And then scroll up to the main menu. And then now you're in the export information section. So if you want to be an exporter, so you want to sell products and yeah, mostly products. There are some limited services, but mostly products to other countries, then you would say yes. And or maybe, if you're not quite sure, there is a maybe there. But if you do click yes or maybe, then you are going to have to um, answer more questions. Basically, what kind of export relationships do you want with other countries or other companies? Like, are you just going to be a broker? Are you going to go full-fledged and sell and ship to all of the other different countries? Whatever it is. And then which countries do you want to do business with? That gives you a choice of all these different countries. So if you click yes or maybe, you'll have to answer those questions. If you just leave it no, you don't have to answer any of those questions. Okay. The reason for this is SBA, The United States wants to be an exporter more than an importer, even though the United States imports quite a bit. And so the SBA does part of their mission is to get as many small businesses exporting as much as possible. We want more American products shipped around the world than bringing in products from other countries. So, all right. Scroll up to the main menu again, and now you can, they call it references. It's really a bad name. This is actually like your experience. Um, well, I guess it could be kind of a reference too, um, but this is the performance history. So you click that and then you click add a reference and basically it'll open up and say, all right, put in the name, the contract number, contract value, contact name, contact phone number from blank to blank. So basically this is a list of your completed contracts. So the name would just be the name of the contract, building 123, or whatever it was, for Anderson Air Force Base. And then you'd have a contract number normally. And again, I'm speaking from federal things. You don't have to put just federal or local government contracts. You can put private sector contracts in here. You just have to give them kind of a name. You'd have to give them a title, basically. What was the value of the contract? And then who is the person to contact if the government was doing some research and they wanted to know if you did a good job? So who would they contact to find out from that company, from that customer of yours? So that's basically what this is. So I highly suggest filling these out. Um, it's a great way for you to market, especially if you're doing really well. Um, and it's a great way to have a past performance profile, uh, basically on file with the government because it'll be all listed here in your SBA profile. If and one other thing to this, if you are doing this and putting in a lot of your contracts, keep them updated. Make sure you have the newest ones first. I believe I don't think I have it here on the screen, but there is a way to make sure that the newest ones come first. You can order it by newest to oldest, basically. So, and that's it. That's your SBA profile. So it is complete. Um, so let's move on here to the actual small business search. So everybody's SBA profile, the thousands and thousands of companies that have these SBA profiles, all these individual profiles are stored in a database known as the Small Business Search or the SBS. And anybody can use this database. You can look at these companies' profiles, especially, and the people who do use this database are usually contracting folks from the federal government, or usually prime contractors looking for subcontractors. Those are the two probably main uses of this website. The other use, though, a good use is looking for potential teaming partners. A lot of federal contracts are teams, especially a lot of the larger contracts. Those are usually joint ventures, which is basically an official team, right? A joint venture is company A, company B, get together. They go, hey, let's form a joint venture. And then they create a new company called Company C, and that company is the joint venture because it's made up of both companies, basically. But all kinds of information is here. Marketing profiles are here, obviously. So let's go live actually and look at how this all works. So this will make a little more sense to everybody who's here. So this is the website, search.certifications.sba.gov. Like I showed you earlier, if I click sign in, I could sign in and actually work on my profile, but you don't have to sign in to use it. So I'm just going to do a little, here's where you can search. And we kind of cover this in our other webinar on, um, oh goodness, what is it now? Capability statement, maybe? Or I forget now. But I'm going to cover it anyway here again. So let's do a search here. So you can, if you know a company's name or the UEI or the cage code, the UEI, by the way, is the unique entity ID that comes from SAM itself. The cage code, commercial and government entity code, that comes from DLA, Defense Logistics Agency. They're the ones who issue cage codes. But they're both stored in your SAM registration. You can search by an ad, you can search by keyword, or you can skip directly to these search filters. So let's do that. Let's go straight to the search filters so I could show you all these different filters. So I think I have to scroll up for that. Yep. So here's the different filters you can see on the screen. We have a location filter, we have a certification filter, we got a NAICS code filter, keywords, business type, And then we got more here. If I click this, there's more filters we can choose from. We can search by, like, I only want to see companies that can handle $5 million worth of work. I can put that right in there and search, get straight to the point, things like that. So, but let's do a search. Let's do, since we're located in Guam, this is defaults to anywhere. But I want to change that. I don't want to search in the entire United States. And by the way, this is an SBA database, so this is only going to cover the United States of America and its territories. This does not cover foreign countries. Small business programs are not valid basically in foreign countries. They're only valid in the United States. So, and this is an SBA website. So you're not going to see any large businesses here either. These are all small businesses. So I'm going to turn that off and I'm going to pick Guam, and I'm also going to pick the CNMI, the Commonwealth of the Northern Mariana Islands, which is listed here as the Northern Mariana Islands. So I'm going to pick those guys right here. And so if I wanted just to see the companies in the database from those two places, there are 966 of them that are registered. Okay. That's obviously way too much. I want to narrow this down. Maybe I want to see ones that are only HubZone certified. So I can go to my certifications here and pick what kind of certification they have, what kind of search I want to do. So let's just see only the HubZone guys. All right, now I'm down to 140. Now, what kind of work am I interested in? Well, I want to see, let's say, consulting type services. Let's go with that. So I can just type consult. So I'm looking at my NAICS codes because that's the industries, right? That's where the codes are. So I could probably do this two ways. I could do, well, let's do it two ways and see if we get different results here. So I'm going to go with administrative management, general management consulting. So I want to find out companies like that in Guam and the CNM and the Northern Marianas Islands that are HubZone certified. So I'm going to click this and see what we got. There's 17. 17. All right, that's probably something that's small enough to navigate. So right now, if you look to the right, this is in a random order. So I could scroll through there, but I like things in alphabetical order. So I am going to change that to alphabetical. And then you can also change it to recently updated. So basically, who recently worked on their profile, you could do that as well. But I'm going to go alphabetical. And then I can just go look through here. And I can tell you right now, if I didn't know any of these companies, I would tell you I wouldn't click on this on Blue Steel, even though I know they're a good company. But just because they don't have any capabilities narrative, so I wouldn't even know what they do or what they're doing here. Um, but I'm looking for a management company, and I know they're a shipping company. I just know that. But if I didn't know that, I wouldn't know at all because it's a blank. So, but I'm looking for management consulting, right? So I got a marketing here. I got design, construction. That's interesting. I got construction services, um, general commodities for safe entities. I got government commercial. This doesn't tell me what I got to actually click on it to find it. Let's see if I can find something that's straight to the point here. Computer design services, design, construction, management. So what this is telling me, a lot of people do other things and they do have that management consulting NAICS code in their profile, but it might not be the main thing that they do, but they do provide that as well. I don't have any like direct. Oh, probably this is the closest I can get here. Public relations, management services. Maybe Sherman Consulting might be the closest I can get. And these guys are in Tinian, so let me just click on them. So right off the bat, on the first screen, I can see where they're located. There's an email address. Remember, you can hide this information. Now, I don't think any of these guys are hidden because, oh, here we go. They hid it. Yeah, so, which is unfortunate. They shouldn't be doing that because I'm not going to click on that because, and they left it blank too. So, all right. But let's go to Sherman Consulting. So I want to see, okay, and I know they're HubZone certified, obviously, because I did the search, but I just know they're located in Tinian. So if I click here, Sherman Consulting, now I can see their more information about the company. There's a profile overview. I could find out, read out more about what they specialize in. They have a website I could go to if I wanted to check out the website. I got my contact information here. Oh, and there's the website again. Is there, their capability statement is not there. So they should um, revise this, update this, and make sure there's a link to the capability statement. It's probably on the website. Um, but interesting why the same website. I don't know why you would do that, but okay. And so we know who the owner is. We see what kind of business type and self-certification. So these are self-certifications. And we have the official SBA certifications here. So they got HubZone certified back in 2020. They got some kind of investor type certification, whatever that is. And then here's their NAICS codes at the end. I can find out, okay, all the different things they do. Quite a bit here. Okay, and then there shows the keywords on how they search. How, if you were to search for them, these are the keywords they're using, where they operate. So that's one of their highlights of their special equipment or materials. They have multiple locations in the different islands around Guam. So, okay, that's cool. And then they have a performance history, which is, these are pretty old. So probably these need to get updated. So you get the newer stuff first. Well, let me just scroll down. I'll keep scrolling down. But yeah, and it stops at 2011. So it's probably this needs to be updated. Yeah. And they want to be an exporter. So, okay, all kinds of information here. Now, what I also want to highlight here is if you're unsure on how to set up like your keywords and stuff, go straight to this profile screen and search for companies that are similar to yours, your competitors basically, and see what keywords they're using. Maybe you want to copy that. Or maybe you notice, hey, they're using a keyword that nobody else is using. And so maybe you want to, or I'm sorry, you're using a keyword or you have an idea for a keyword that they don't use. So maybe you want to do that. You can stand out a little bit with your keyword search, but you probably want to use popular keywords that most people use for search. Now, you do a keyword search. We did a NAICS code search. Let's go back to the results here because I want to see what the difference is. So we did a 5 for 1, 611 search and we got 17 small businesses. And we were looking for management consulting, right? So if I'm gonna uncheck that and just do a search for consulting. In theory, I should get a lot more results because it could be all different kinds of consulting. Well, let's do that and see what we get. We don't. We get less. We get 11. Now, why is that? That's because a lot of people are not setting up their keywords, or they're not using the popular keyword, the most popular keywords. So, but here we go. So this also shows you that it's probably better to do a NAICS search on this website, which is the opposite of how we teach it for the SAM website when you're looking for solicitations. But it's better to do a NAICS search because you're going to get more results than if you try to do a keyword search on this website. But a lot of these are the similar companies. I'm sorry, let's sort it by alphabetical. Let's do the same thing again. Actually, we got some different companies here. But many are the same. There are a couple differences, but not too many differences. So that's interesting. If you see a company here that didn't appear in the NAICS search, it's like, why didn't they put that code, that NAICS code in their profile for that keyword that they're using? So basically, the idea here is to make sure you're covering all your bases. You want to be as searchable as possible. So, all right, let's do another kind of search. I'm going to go back and clear the filters here. Just kind of start all over. Sometimes I believe I'm just going to refresh the website. Sometimes that helps a little better. Okay. So I'm going to change this to, again, just Guam and the CNMI. So let me just do this. Okay. And let's do that was a keyword search. Let's do a business. I don't want to do a business type. Let's do a bonding limit one to see who can handle Who's got a total bonding limit of, let's say, 10 mil? Whoa, what just happened? Okay, it stopped at $10. Let's change that. Uh, let's go to 1,000, 10,000, a million, 10 million. Is that 10 million? Oh no, that's 1 million. Let's go to 10 million, which would be pretty good size for small businesses. All right, so we got 29 companies. So if I'm a prime and I'm looking for some subs and I know that the subcontractor portion of this project that I want that maybe I've won or I want to bid on, is going to be, maybe 8 to 10 million. So I need somebody with at least a $10 million bonding limit. These are the ones I would reach out to. They're all listed here. And you notice almost every single one has some kind of SBA certification. Most of it's HubZone. This one has 8A. This one's got a blank profile, not good. The same with this one, not good. But these are the ones I would look at because they're most of the ones that, the ones that are filled out. So, okay. I saw something pop in the chat. Let me check that out. Okay, so you've been thinking of adding 6 more NAICS codes to your exam registry. How long does it approximately take for the NAICS code information to be automatically picked up? So unfortunately, when you add NAICS codes to your SAM profile, it's like doing a renewal. You can't just go in and add them and leave. You have to basically go through the update renewal process. And when you get to the NAICS section, that's where you can add them, and you have to submit it for review. So, it takes probably a week minimum. But once your SAM is renewed for another year again, then your NAICS will all be there in the SBA profile. So. Yeah, it's not something that can be done instantaneously, unfortunately. Okay. Does anyone have a particular search they want to do? I'm going to clear these filters and you can see maybe you're searching for a business partner, or maybe you're searching for a subcontractor or prime, a small business prime, maybe. Um, we can do that. If anybody wants to type in the chat or unmute themselves and let me know a special kind of search. The LinkedIn search. I think that's going to be tough. I'm not even going to use any kind of filter. I'm just going to type it in and see what happens. Let's try it as 2 words, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. So anybody with the word linked in their name is going to appear. The LinkedIn pros. Yeah, interesting. Let's try it as 1 word and see what happens. Okay, there's 75 small businesses. I'm just going to leave them in random order now. Um, there was some that popped in the chat here. Let me just see this real quick. 1 word. Okay. All right. So we got some companies here. Let's see, providing professional development social media services to corporations. On their capability statements right there. So let's click on that real quick on their woman-owned certified. Okay. Out of Washington, D.C. Let's just click that capability statement. Hopefully it doesn't okay, just opening another window. So you should all be able to see this. Okay. So there's their capabilities. Leading dynamic LinkedIn training. Okay. And there's some past performance. So if you are maybe new to this and starting up in this industry, you might want to take a look at this for some ideas on how to do your capability statement. Or if you've been doing this for a while, you might look at this and say, well, you might also get some ideas, but you might think of, okay, that's how they're doing it. Maybe I'll do mine a little differently. So, but again, marketing, that's what we're doing here. We're marketing. So, all right, not too bad. They got some certifications on the bottom that are kind of small, but I'm assuming they're related to. Okay, I'm not going to go into a whole capability statement review because we do that on a webinar, and you can watch that on our YouTube channel. I will say something here. You don't need the DUNS number really anymore in government contracting. Let's see what else we got in the chat here. Okay, helpful. That's good. I'm just going to close that window. Um, so, if you have your capability statement, I really don't need to click on your name, your company name, and read more. Well, I could maybe, let's see, maybe some stuff that wasn't on your capability statement, like maybe, um, well, okay, they got certified in 2025. That's pretty recent. Some keywords here. Yeah, that wasn't on your capability. So I could see, okay, what kind of keywords. Now remember, it did say the keyword should be one word, comma. A lot of these are phrases, so you can do it that way, but I think one word, comma is better. One word, comma, space, another word, comma, space. So, and they have some contracts here. Okay. Interesting. Contact person and okay, this is interesting to me. They're using it for like a different purpose. Interesting. Okay. Instead of contracts, these are like webinars attended or something. I don't know what these are. Yeah. Yeah. Huh. Okay. Using it for a different purpose. That's fine, I guess. It's all about marketing. So, okay. Anybody else want to do a different kind of search? Just clear these filters. I'm going to refresh again. Sometimes I just refresh just because sometimes the clear filters doesn't work so well. Any other kind of search? Thought leadership. All right. This probably is going to bring them up separately. Oops, got to spell it right. Thought Partners, a woman-owned small business providing customized curriculum design. Hmm. Let's look at. They're hiding their pub. Okay, let's look at the second one here. Evoke Thought LLC. So they're out of Pennsylvania. They have a website I could go to. I could click and check out that website. There's their website. Loaded up pretty quick. Comprehensive business development services, startups to corporate teams. Okay. It's pretty typical of what you see websites nowadays, how they set it up with the scrolling screen and the different columns. That's normally the way I see a lot of these like this. They got the Women's Business Enterprise certification, which we saw on the other company as well. So, okay, let's see if they have any type of capability statement or I'm just looking at their titles here. Business Development, Corporate Services. Okay. All right, that's fine. Let's go back to the listing. Something popped up here in the chat again. I'm sorry. Let me just check that. Yep, that sounds about right. Yep. Different interpretation of thought leadership. That's probably true. Okay. Let's go back. There wasn't the first one actually, although they had their address hidden, they did have a capability statement. So let's take a look at that. Okay, so this one is in their SBA profile. It's not connected to their website. Hmm. So there's the capability statement. Okay, they're woman-owned certified. Got the logo there. Okay. All right, now my computer's doing weird things. I'm just going to click back. Okay. Let me clear these filters and see if we can try. All right. Any other choices before we move on? So basically, the small business search is the site you can go to and search other small businesses. It's a marketing site. And you can, look for teaming partners, look for potential subcontractors, potential small business prime contractors, contracting officers, contracting specialists, contracting officials go to this website to look for when they're doing their market research. So again, it's just a great opportunity to basically have some free marketing for your company. So let's go back to the PowerPoint. I believe that is it, though. Yep. So SBA Profile, great free way to market your business, contracting officials, primes, potential teaming partners. Again, you can also use it to search your competitors to see what they're doing. I'm sure a lot of people do that. It's required for applying for small business certifications, and you can use it to research your teaming partners and competitors, like I said. So I'm going to stop the share here and open up for any questions. If anybody's got any questions. No questions? Going once, going twice. All right. If there aren't any questions, I just want to thank everyone for joining us today. It was a quick one today. Please join us next week if we don't get blown away by a potential storm again that's coming. Hopefully it misses us and everything's fine. Um, but we might have a nice and windy July 4th. We'll see here. So, but next Thursday, if everything is all good, we should be doing, what are we doing?
Cybersecurity.
Cybersecurity. All right. So we're going to be talking about the Department of War has a thing known as the CMMC, the Cybersecurity Maturity Model Certification, and they're requiring all their contractors and subcontractors down to the bottom level. It flows down. So if there's like 5 levels of subcontracting, it flows down through all the subcontractors to have a minimum um, cybersecurity certification, which is known as level one, where basically you self-certify that you are meeting these 15 basic requirements in protecting government information. And we're going to talk all about those requirements and how you make sure you are complying with that, as it is in effect right now. And we're seeing it happen. I've seen contracts or solicitations in SAM for Guam that say CMMC level one is required for you to basically submit a proposal. And if you haven't done the level one, which is the basics that everyone should have done already, you won't be able to bid on something. So, but that's what we're going to talk about next week. So next week, 10 o'clock, please join us. So thanks everyone for joining us today. Have a great rest of your day.